Vince, are you ready for rapid fire?
Let's do it, baby. A little Wednesday version.
Okay, so a lot of speculation, of course, this week on what color jerseys Notre Dame's going to wear against Indiana this Friday night in the college football playoff. And Irish head coach Marcus Freeman addressed that question on his media Zoom call earlier today.
Obviously, let our captains decide what we wear. I am informed that we have new jerseys for the games. I was informed that weeks ago if we made the playoffs, Under Armour was going to give us new jerseys, but I haven't seen them. Really just focusing on this game and preparing the right way for this task at hand.
Okay, so I should also mention that Marcus Freeman, as he answered that, as everyone has been speculating about black jerseys this week, he was wearing a black hooded Notre Dame sweatshirt. Obviously not a very common look. So, Vince, what do you think all this means?
I really hope it doesn't mean that they're changing the jerseys. That's where I'm at. Now, I hope this is just the ultimate troll job ever. Like that's what I hope it means. And I'm going to hold on to that hope until I see something official from Notre Dame. I'm hoping this is a troll job and Notre Dame comes out in their normal, they're just their normal uniforms. That's what I'm hoping for.
And people, of course, mentioning that Vince is wearing black.
This is where I work.
In football.
This is where I work.
I agree, John. I do think black is a bad idea. I'm just not down for this. I would much rather see green than black. Like if they're going to come out in something that is not blue, I would go with green before I would go with black. But like, what does your gut tell you? Like, I'm feeling like I was pretty definite yesterday that this was all just, like social media,
Me too.
And, internet rumors and stuff like that. And then literally I open up Zoom and there's Marcus Freeman wearing a black hooded sweatshirt. And I think the second question is about this. And he's like, well, the captain's vote, we've got these uniforms. I haven't seen them. It's like, what? What is going on right now?
Look, I like the fact that Notre Dame is loosening the reins a little bit on just the gold pants, either a white top or a blue top. Like, I do like that. Like, they had the white bottoms with the blue tops when they were playing against Georgia Tech, and they had the all whites on the road. Like, I like the fact that they're, thinking outside the box a little bit, right? But it's with team colors, man. Black is not a team color.
Right.
I'll just say it. Black is not a Notre Dame team color.
Could it be midnight blue with gold numbers?
Why does it have to be? Why not Carolina blue?
Well, midnight blue, I don't know if you remember, a guy who used to work with us at the radio station back in the day. We used to have arguments about what color the Bears uniforms, and their colors are midnight blue.
Okay.
But he used to argue, well, but it's almost black. But it's not black. It's midnight blue. There's still a difference. So it's a darker shade of blue, I guess, is what I'm saying. I don't know. I don't know, man.
I mean, listen.
I just don't feel like it feels like, like this is the first college,
right?
Like on-campus college football playoff game ever. You're playing at Notre Dame Stadium. This is Notre Dame.
Yes.
The whole thing. It just doesn't feel like something they would do.
I completely agree. They're stressing the history of this thing and all of that. Then why are they changing their jerseys? I don't understand it.
But WJS says if they come out to all black, how many times will you hear back in black in the stadium? Probably the same amount. I heard Ozzy Crazy Train when they played that at night. It took them years to stop playing Crazy Train
no doubt.
At night. Yeah, I think you hear it. I'd set the over-under on 6.5, I think, because it's going to be like wild and crazy and, like big plays and stuff like that. I think you're going to hear it quite a bit if they actually do.
It'll be quite the contrast because I'm pretty sure IU is going to be in all white. So.
And now, have you seen that for sure?
Well, I mean, that's what their away jerseys have been all year. So that's all
okay.
I'm going. That's all I'm going off of.
Gotcha. So, I mean, they could switch it up though too.
They could. They could.
Okay, so we saw Charles Jagusah practicing with the team Monday morning after the tackle, of course, missed all of this season due to the injury that he suffered back in training camp. So what's his availability for this week, and what'll it be for the spring as well?
Yeah, for spring, he'll be 100%. He's still returning to play protocol. He won't be available to, play for us this game, but in the offensive line role. But, he is getting closer and closer to being able to practice for the entirety of a practice full go. But he hasn't practiced full go yet.
So hasn't been able to practice full go just yet. We did have some people asking, I think yesterday, about Jagusah. Could he suit up? Could he play? I mean, obviously, Vince, he is nowhere close to being able to ready to being ready to play right now.
Yeah, and I wouldn't anticipate that he's going to play. I mean, look, he's a very talented kid. There's no two ways about it. This is just some extra practice, in my opinion, for the spring.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to mess with the continuity of the offensive line right now, not in the playoff. Like, that's not a very smart move from a coaching standpoint. And so I would anticipate that would not happen. And so, yeah, I'm definitely out on him playing, even if he's ready to go. I don't think that's a great idea. I don't.
It's almost like an extended spring, right. Like just kind of getting his feet back underneath him a little bit, taking advantage of some, what would you call it? Non-leverage types, not ultimately, ultra competitive by any means, but just getting reps, and the fact that he's able to get out there and do some stuff after missing the whole season. Like you hear about, we always hear about how important it is for these guys to get bowl practice, like especially the young guys. The way they've done it the last couple of years is, the first few practices that they've had for bowl prep, they've let younger guys, kind of have more reps and stuff like that to rest some of the older guys and to get some of the younger guys looks and those kind of things. And this is just, again, it's like he didn't play all year. He's just coming back. It's just kind of licking his chops a little bit, kind of getting him ready for the spring primer. So the Irish traditionally practice inside Notre Dame Stadium before most home games. Freeman was asked about that leading up to this week's game.
Usually during home weeks, home games, we try to get over to the stadium Thursdays of game week. But versus Virginia, we weren't able to do that because of the weather. That wasn't going to be the same on that Thursday. It was on Saturday. And there were some other logistical things that today is our typical Thursday practice that we decided to not go over to the stadium. Our guys know where to go, what to do. They know the ins and outs of every part of Notre Dame Stadium. So they'll be ready to go and very familiar with the environment.
So, big deal, little deal, no deal. No practice at Notre Dame Stadium this week.
No deal. They've practiced there plenty. I don't think that's a huge deal. I mean, they,
like you said, they're at the stadium all the time.
Yeah, all the time. I mean, and they don't. It's first of all, it's an empty stadium. It's not like you're practicing in front of 80,000 people at night. So I don't think that even really benefits you at this point. They're out in the elements. That's what you got to care about, right? It hasn't been cold enough at the beginning of this week, in my opinion. So they're going to be out in the elements. They're going to be doing things like that. This is a no deal for me.
Completely no deal. Completely no deal. Again, like your practice field is still 100 yards, right? Regardless of if it's actually inside the stadium or not. It's not like you need to get acclimated to Notre Dame Stadium at this point. You've played full games in it all season long, even though it's been around a month or so, a little bit more than a month since you've done it. Completely no deal. Decaf wants to know if IU will have a walkthrough tomorrow. I would think, that's typically customary that the visiting team gets a walkthrough the day before, if they come in and that kind of stuff. But I can't say for sure. But I would think that they would. Carlos, not happy about the fact that this is a home game, but IU gets its own full entrance.
It's a video, Carlos. Take it down, man. It's not that big of a deal. It's a video. If Notre Dame loses the game because there's an IU video playing, they didn't deserve to win the game in the first place. It's a video. Everything else is going to be Notre Dame. Like, it's a video, man.
I'm still really curious to see what this is going to look like, because I know, IU, like the technical ticket allotment is only like 3,500 or something like that. But that obviously does not control, like secondary ticket market and all that kind of stuff. I am going to be really curious to see what that looks like, but we'll talk about that here in a second, actually. Double down. There's no way Charles Jagusah is playing Friday night.
No. First of all, number one, he's not ready.
He just said, right. He just said, Freeman said in that clip that he's not even practicing, like full practice right now. So he is, he's so not.
That's a non-starter. I mean, maybe you get to the national championship game and maybe he's full go. I still don't think he's the guy that you put in. I mean, he hasn't been practicing all season.
Right. Indy Forever wants to know any word on whether Kingston Viliamu Asa would be back if they advance the Sugar Bowl. I would highly doubt it. At practice the other day, he was not in uniform. He had a knee brace on, and he basically just had, I think it was shorts, and like some sweats on kind of thing. So he was not doing any kind of practice stuff. So I would think, like best
they've
case.
Been
very
very vague, which
that's
is not a good
something that,
sign.
I think it was asked on Sunday. I think he was asked about King, or if it wasn't asked, he just said he's out still, basically. But, based on what we saw, I don't think that is in the near future. I would think that best case, you might be talking about semifinal or championship game, even, getting down that far. Irish English says he's interested in hearing turned down for what about 6 times. So
he'll be in great shape. If that's what you're wanting, there's a chance. So you're saying there's a chance,
right? So here's an exchange between Irish defensive coordinator Al Golden and a reporter from their media session this week. Question: with Howard Cross returning, can he be full go after being out so long, or do you have to work him in? Golden: when you say work in, question: he's a heavy rep guy normally. Can he be a heavy rep guy? Golden: yeah, I'm not anticipating working him in on Friday. I don't need him standing next to me. And that, Vince, is blank.
Freaking great. I mean, a full go Howard Cross III. Let's roll, baby. Like, that's the best news you could. Of all the news that has come out, the fact that he's going to be full go with no restrictions, that's the best news possible.
That is absolutely right. They needed Howard Cross back. They're getting Howard Cross back, and I loved it. It's like, no, this is not, we're working him back in.
Right.
Like, he's available to go. He's going to be out there. As much as he's going to be out there. He's not going to be standing next to me on the sideline, like hanging out and talking in my ear all night.
Exactly.
So Al Golden's got him out there on the field. I love it. By the way, do you know the last time Notre Dame played a home game that was not broadcast on NBC? Do you know what the game was?
I do know the answer to this because I have seen it floating around.
Okay.
Not because I'm a great historian on anything sports related, as you are well aware, but I believe it was 1991, and I believe it was against IU.
You're close. November 17th, 1990, Al Golden was playing for Penn State at Notre Dame Stadium.
Okay, yes. See, you win. Okay. Yes.
Came up.
Did it come up?
Session. Yep.
That's funny.
And he knew the answer to it. He knew that he was in the last game.
What position did he play?
I believe he was a tight end.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Interesting.
I believe. Fill in the blank. It's going to be a battle of rally towels for Friday night's playoff game now, Vince. Notre Dame, of course, is putting them on the seats. These right here that Vince doesn't have. They're going to put them on the seats in the stadium, and it's blank that Indiana is also passing out their own towels now to fans both in Bloomington and here in town before the game on Friday.
Good for them. They're trying to do the best they can to get any kind of advantage that they can. I have no problem with IU getting into the rally towel business. I just hate rally towels. I'm just not a fan in general. So
you don't like the.
No, I don't. I would rather see Pom-poms? Bigger fan of the pom-poms than the rally towels?
Really?
Yeah.
I would rather see the rally towel than the pom-pom myself.
Maybe it just reminds me of the Steelers too much. I don't
Maybe.
know.
I can see that.
Terrible
the old
towel.
terrible towel days. Yeah.
I don't know.
This looks like a terrible towel.
It does. When you were spinning it, that's all I could think of. So now, if the vast majority of the crowd is spinning that thing, that means there's less IU fans. And so I'd obviously be on board with that. But there's going to be some contrast because those rally towels for IU are red. So
they're actually white.
Well, that was dumb.
And that's like to me, the fact that Indiana fans will literally be waving white flags during the game. That's the first.
That's hilarious.
First thing I thought of when I saw the picture of these things. Yeah, they're going to be a white towel. And I was like, why would you do white? Why wouldn't you do red? And again, maybe it's because it's at night and it'll stand out, or maybe it's because Indiana will be wearing white.
Maybe it's because they're just waving the white towel, baby.
Yeah,
the white
waving
flag.
the white towel. They'll be waving the white towels out there. But you will see some contrast. So we're going to be able to see, I think. We're going to differentiate.
It'll be even more obvious because, remember, it's a cold weather game, right? And so people are going to be wearing coats. And rare do you get the green coat or the red coat. You know what I mean? They do exist, obviously. You could layer up and there's things that you can do. But a lot of the people are just going to be wearing coats. So that is going to be the differentiator, is those stupid towels. So we're going to be able to see.
So that's how we're going to be able to see it.
This is the last time you and I are going to be on a show before Friday night.
It's true.
What is your final prediction for the percentage of IU fans at the game?
Man,
because I feel like I'm trending more towards less IU fans with what I've been hearing and things like that.
I'm going to say 30% IU fans.
Okay. I think that's a lower number than what you were saying before.
Yeah.
So you're trending in that direction too. I like that
price
number.
of the tickets has come down, which means that, maybe they're not, as eager to get in there as I originally thought. Yeah. And just like hearing so many, Notre Dame fans.
Yeah.
Father David we're seeing 15 and 20%.
Wow.
Corey is with me at 30%.
I think I want to be in the 20 to 25% crowd. I feel like that's where I want to sit. It's going to be interesting though. But yes, I have more faith that Notre Dame is selling to Notre Dame kid. Like Notre Dame people are selling to Notre Dame people more than I thought that was going to be the case.
Irish English says, wait, before or after halftime?
Ooh, well played. It'll be about 7% after halftime. So
yeah.
The parents will stick around.
Yeah, and with the student tickets being $25, like I was wondering, because again, like this whole before we really heard all the details of just how home centric this whole thing is going to be, I was wondering how big the student section was going to be. But if you're getting them for $25 and they're keeping the dorms open an extra couple days to let the students stay, I would think it's going to be a pretty full student section. I would think. So I think that's good news too.
What's up, Thad? 27.5% is a very specific number. But I brought that up not only because it's a specific number, but because Thad is a good friend of mine. I haven't talked to him in a really long time. So what's up, Thad? Good to see you, man. He moved out to the East Coast. His allegiance got split. He's a huge Cubs fan, but he lives in DC. So I see a lot of Nats pictures with him and a Nats hat and all that kind of stuff. So I'm hoping at the core,
hanging Nats,
still rooting for the North Siders.
This is the one that I was looking for. It was right beneath Thaddeus's. Stymie, over under a 3 a.m. wrap up for the post-game show. So let's see. We're starting at 8, which means they're going to be done close to midnight by the time. So, it might not be quite that long because it's ABC, ESPN as opposed to NBC.
I think it will be.
So you might get 11. I'll say 11:45. End of game. But that's still, there's no way you're getting done before 3 a.m.
No chance. So here's the thing, and I don't know how much Brian has actually talked about this, but we're we're still kind of on the fence with how we're going to do the post-game show. If it's a close game, I don't think I'm leaving until the game is over.
Okay.
And so that will push the post-game show back a little bit. If it is how I think it should be, I'll still leave between the third and fourth quarter, and then we'll start it up right after the game is over. So it's going to be kind of literally a game time decision on how we operate the post-game show. But we will have something after the game. It's just I'm not exactly sure of the start time. Yeah, so we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. The best part is I know this is going to shock you, but I did not plan very well for this particular weekend. And I have wrestling supervision at 9 a.m. on Saturday.
Oh my gosh, Vince.
Yep.
What are you doing?
I didn't even think about it. Didn't even cross my mind.
So do they just write you down or something?
So so basically,
unless you tell them, hey, I really can't.
Yeah. So it's like a lottery essentially. So or a draft, I should say. So at the beginning of every sports season, so fall, winter, spring, we get into the people who do supervision. We get into a room. We've got the whole list, and we go through it. And it's okay. Well, who wants this one? Who wants this one? I was like, yeah, I'll take a Saturday morning wrestling tournament. No big deal. Well, didn't think there was going to be a post game show till 3 a.m. plus.
Man,
so it's going to be rough. It's going to be rough.
Carlos says I need to hop on the post game shows. No, I don't. I have the out though, because
you're working.
I have to write stuff.
Yes.
That's why I'm not on the post game shows. Vince and Brian and Trevor and is Ryan still doing it?
He does, but I don't think he's going to because he's going to be at Trevor.
Oh, that's
and
right.
Ryan,
he's going to be at the
game. So that's the other part of it. So Brian and I are in the press box. Trevor and Ryan are in the stands. I think the only one that's going to be at home is Sean, the other Sean Davis.
I was going to say I'll be at the game.
Yes, and so I'm not going to rush home to do the show by myself. You know what I mean? So we're going to have to kind of figure all that out and when everybody can get home and what that looks like. So this is a once in a this is the first time for this, so we're kind of playing it by ear. I'm not looking forward, by the way. Once Notre Dame beats IU, I'm confident that's going to happen.
Okay.
8:45 kickoff for the Sugar Bowl. Sean, 8:45. Notre Dame goes from the first game ever of the weekend to the last game of that round.
Of the second weekend. Yeah.
Man, that's going to be rough.
I'm just glad I'll be home, actually, because that'll be New Year's Day.
That's true.
And we don't have another basketball trip until we'll leave on the 4th, play on the 5th at North Carolina.
Well,
so
that tells me you're coming with us.
Is Brian willing to pay all those airfares?
Hey, whatever. I'll fit in the luggage. Whether I'm there or not.
I've been to New Orleans once. I've never been to the Superdome or whatever it is.
I've never been there
or whatever it is.
What is it called these days? I honestly don't even know.
I think isn't it Mercedes-Benz?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Aren't there two Mercedes-Benz?
There's two Mercedes-Benz because the other one's in Atlanta, right?
Yeah.
I've never been to New Orleans ever in my life, so being there on New Year's, I'm sure will be a very interesting scenario.
Oh, it's the Caesars Dome.
That's right.
That's new. Right. That's a new name.
Yes. And
formerly Mercedes-Benz Superdome.
And it's not like Little Caesars. It's Caesars as in
Caesars.
Sports book.
Yeah. Dolly, thank you for the super chat and appreciate you saying that. Says, love you guys. Always a pleasure to see you and Jesse too. Well, we do appreciate
that. Thank you very much, Dolly.
By the way, Vince, I have one holiday themed question that I wanted to ask you tonight, since I don't, we'll be here next week before Christmas, but
of course
I expect a lot of, game specific. And by the way, I just thought about this. One Christmas is a week from today.
Oh no, say it. I know exactly where you're going with this.
You know what Monday is.
I do. Say it.
Festivus, baby.
Woo!
The airing of grievances will come in rapid fire on Monday's show. Since obviously, they're going to be, there's going to be plenty of football to talk about on Monday's regular IB Nation Sports Talk, but we will air grievances in rapid fire.
Yes.
So we didn't get a Festivus show last year.
No, because it was on Sunday.
Yes.
Now we're in line for multiple, because now we're just going to roll through the week. So we're in line for multiple Festivus shows moving forward. And I'm excited about it.
I got a lot of problems with you people. Nice, Carlos. Nice. Are you baby Carlos, by the way, from The Hangover? I just watched you the other night.
We always celebrate Festivus on this show. And
That's right.
Previous iterations of shows.
From way back, there have always been Festivus shows.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes. Do you have the audio from that one? You did a bit with former head coaches at Notre Dame and all of that.
Wow.
Do you still have that audio? Because I think you should play it.
I don't know if I do. I'll have to dig. I don't think I do. It was.
I don't remember exactly all the pieces, but I remember it was controversial.
It was after Tyrone Willingham was fired.
That's right.
And I did what was that? It was OnStar, and Tyrone Willingham was locked out of his office, and he couldn't figure out why, and he was calling OnStar.
Is that what it was? Okay.
Yes. Jerry Faust was trying to help him, I think.
Yeah. That was good.
Made some people mad.
Yes, you did. So worth it.
But here's my question.
Okay.
My Christmas question for you. So I was listening to a pod recently, and these guys were talking. One of the guys said he and his wife were considering doing 2 Christmas trees because they couldn't agree with what they wanted from a tree. So my question to you is, Vince, would you ever consider having 2 Christmas trees in your house?
So there's 2 answers to this question. In my house, the one that I pay for, no. But growing up, we had multiple Christmas trees.
Really?
We did.
Full-size Christmas trees?
Oh, yes. One was on the main level and one was in the basement. The reason being, the one on the main level was the Hallmark.
Was one of them a steel pole or an aluminum pole?
No. One was the Hallmarky ornaments and the nice stuff. And then the one in the basement was all the handmade stuff.
Interesting.
That we had created over the years. And so that one got to go to the basement. But they both had, places of honor or whatever. So multiple Christmas trees in my old house, 1 in this house. I will say, though, we do have to pick and choose what we put on the tree because there's only so much room.
Yeah.
And we have 5 children,
right,
who have all created things over the years, and then we've accumulated, you know how it goes, right?
Sure.
We could easily fill 3 or 4 Christmas trees without any problem.
Yeah. See, the thing is, in this whole, conversation that I was listening to, it was the husband, kind of wanted one thing in a tree. The wife wanted another thing in a tree. And I just don't feel to me, the whole tree thing is my wife. She puts it up. Typically I try to help take it down, but more times, I just don't feel passionately enough about, these are the things that I need on the tree, that I want a whole tree that I'm going to be responsible for.
Correct.
There's just no way. So
are you fake or real though?
We used to kind of alternate. We had a fake, and every couple years we would go back and do the real. The real just got to be too messy. And with the pine needles and the water and the whole thing. So we've just gone pretty much fake for the last several years.
We've been fake my entire marriage. So because when we became a family, I guess is the best way to put it. My dad gave us one of the 2 Christmas trees that we had in the house, gave us one of them. And so we just used that one.
So you've had that same tree?
We have since upgraded.
Okay. I was going to say, that's been 20 years.
Because that was each individual branch, and you have to fluff it, and then you put the lights on and everything. We have since upgraded to the 3 stack, you know what I mean? That's pre-lit, and you just do the 3 pieces, and boom, you're done. Now, I will say, when it's all said and done, that tree was magnificent. Like if you took the time and you did each individual branch and the whole, like it was beautiful, but it just took forever, man.
Yeah.
It just took so long.
Yeah. That just reminded me that, like, speaking of fake trees, my dad had this fake tree that, had been around. I don't know how long he even had the thing. And he just, like he would take the decorations down, but he would basically just like that thing. It probably stayed in his living room for a good 10 years, collecting dust. And
oh, that's great.
yes,
that's fantastic.
Just never took it down.
Yeah.
Just, like kind of rearrange the decorations and stuff like that.
I get it. I 100% get it, man. I do.
Yep.
Yep.
All right. Well, I guess I will see you next when we're out there together.
That's right.
Friday.
Yeah. I don't know when I'm getting out there. Let's pray for a quiet day at the other job, and hopefully I'll be able to get out there.
Sounds good.
We'll see. We'll see. I can't wait, man. I'm so excited.
I know.
I'm wearing all my IB stuff to school on Friday. I'm ready to
now I got to figure out what I'm going to wear in the press box, since apparently I've got to bundle up.
Well, we're going to be at the tailgate too. So it's like, I don't know what to do. Like, you got to layer up. You're going to be outside, but then you're going to get up inside. And it's going to be like, what do I do with all these layers? I don't know. First world problems, obviously.
There's a lot to it. All right. Joe's bringing the whiskey. I'm not much of a whiskey guy myself, but someone's got to keep it warm. Steak sandwiches. Do you know for sure? What? Joe was asking about the Knights of Columbus steak sandwiches. I mean, I would have to think that they're going to be doing those out there.
Right? They would have to. I mean,
home game.
Those are a staple.
Why wouldn't they?
Those are a staple. They have to have those. When I was a student, I'd get one of those every week.
It's been so long since I've had one of those.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Somebody said across from the South Dining Hall is where they do that. Does that sound right? Do you remember where they do it?
I just remember it was on my walk over from Holy Cross. And you could just smell it in the air. That sounds right, but it's just been so long.
It's been a long time since I've gotten over that far on a game day. Like, especially since we, because we park at Ignition Park.
Yeah.
So it's like
complete opposite direction.
Just walking, like to the stadium. It's nowhere close to that. So they do sound good though. They do sound good.
They do.
All right.
I don't know what they're serving at the IB tailgate, but here's hoping.
Get the Knights of Columbus to just bring that grill over, do some steak sandwiches there. That'd be the way to go.
That is the way to go.
All right, we're going to wrap it up. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate the questions. Don't forget, tomorrow is We In, We Out Thursday. We'll have that on tomorrow's show, and plenty more as well. Just we've got two sleeps to go.
Sounds like we're getting ready for Christmas. Kind of is, though. This is adult Christmas.
It is.
Friday night is adult Christmas, everybody. Yep. I'm here to say it. So let's go.
All right, hit the like button before you leave, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. IB Nation Sports Talk.